Welcome back, everybody. It is Thursday, so it is time for Talking Kids with Dr. Caitlynn. Lexington pediatrician Dr. Caitlynn Iddings with us this morning, as always.
And today we're talking about tips for preventing and treating lice in your children.
Oh, it's something you never want to think about and certainly never have to deal with, but hey, it is a reality. Dr. Caitlynn, good to see you this morning.
I'm going to go ahead and apologize for your head to begin to itch right now. As soon as you start talking about it, you got to scratch your head.
I think the big thing about lice to remember is while it is like a pest, it's not really a major health concern. They can't pass disease. You know, they'll make your head itch. They're gross, but it doesn't mean, you know, that kids are dirty. You know, 'cause the whole thing with the new Rex on head lice treatment and stuff are we don't need to be like excluding kids from school for nits. There used to be this whole no nit policy, and now we know better that like a lot of nits aren't like active lice infections. It's just they haven't been able to clearly clear all of those dead eggs out of the hair. So the guidelines were updated in October of last year. And essentially, they said if you have active bugs, clearly you should keep your kid home from school and treat them, right? The issue with that is sometimes these bugs are very tiny, and if it's a new infestation, they can be very hard to see. And so the average adult louse is about the size of a sesame seed, right? Which is tiny. So then if you think about a baby louse that's just like hatched out of an egg, it's even smaller. So my oldest had lice when she was about 3. We had never cut her hair. My husband called me and said, I think there might be a bug in her hair. And I, of course, was freaking out. But the first step is don't freak out, right? Yes. Take a deep breath. There are multiple over-the-counter options now to treat these that range from, you know, very mild things all the way up through they now have like topical ivermectin that is just been recently FDA approved, which is going to be kind of your quickest and most effective treatment for lice because there have been shown to be some super lice that are resistant to some of the RID and NICS medications.
Yeah. From the Marvel universe.
The super lice.
And so, you know, the first step is, you know, identifying it because a lot of times kids will get sent home or, you know, a coach or someone will see something and they're like, oh my gosh, I think your kid has lice. And then they look and it's like, no, it's like hairspray, right? So the first place to look is at the very base of the hair, right? Because they won't lay their eggs further down because the eggs can only hatch if they're about 1 centimeter from the hair. They have to have that warmth. So if you're seeing like stuff down here, it could just be dandruff or something like that. So look kind of at the very base, look at the nape of the neck and kind of behind the ears. Usually with a new lice infestation, they won't have a lot of itching. So, you know, clearly if your kid's there and they're like, my head is itching, that's a reason to check. But it takes about 9 days for the saliva that the lice are injecting before they start sucking on you, essentially, to actually start causing you to itch. So a lot of times you won't kind of have that as like an initial thing. So check the base, you know, check the back of the scalp and around the ears. And if you see little bitty tiny kind of stuck on, because nits are very stuck on, right? They're sort of cemented to the hair shaft. If you're like, oh, that's really hard to get off, it's more likely to be. And then you need to be looking for live bugs, right? So if you're looking at the scalp and you're seeing actual live moving little black tan colored bugs, then that's an active infestation and you need to treat, right? And so most of these over-the-counter treatments are readily available now. You can still oftentimes call your pediatrician and get them to prescribe them if it's gonna be an issue of like, they're kind of expensive, I can't afford that to treat like all 5 of my kids in the house have lice. So most of us are more than happy to say, yeah, well, send that prescription right over. You don't necessarily have to bring your child in. Some people prefer to actually see it and make sure they know what they're treating, especially if it's a younger kid.
Which is more gross, being a doctor or being a mom?
That's debatable. Yeah.
But wow, good advice there for sure about treating.
I'm just going to go ahead and do it because it's killing me right now.
I know, just even thinking about it. I know you know at home right now, you're like,
But yeah, don't freak out. Just remember, like, treat first, and then you don't have to hold the kid out of school. Like, once you don't see any live bugs, it's going to take a while, especially if you have a child with hair all the way down to get all the nits out.
Something you need to be prepared for. Thank you so much.